Well, come out so I can see you.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of Classified Captures. Expect to be thrilled, excited, and my personal favorite, scared even a little by some of today's clips. Without wasting too much of your precious time, let's jump right into it. But before we do, thank you to everybody who left such lovely comments about my general health and well-being over the past couple of days. Hopefully, that'll be the last time that happens for a while. Anyway, let's get into it. If you can see this, then you can tell that the UFO phenomenon is taking an unexpected turn. Someone captures a video of an unusual object in the sky, but it's not the typical unidentified flying object this time. Instead, it looks like a person suspended in the air. Oh, well, that's quite puzzling. This has led people to wonder, is it a UFO trying to look like a human, or could it be a person with some extraordinary ability to defy gravity up there? Perhaps someone from the wizarding world of Harry Potter. The possibilities are quite varied. Some believe it might be an extraterrestrial visitor with a human-like appearance, while others consider the idea of a person with unique abilities taking a casual flight among the clouds. As the video circulates, opinions are being shared, but let's keep it calm and look at it rationally. Do you think it's a UFO in disguise, someone with exceptional powers, or perhaps something else entirely? Let's have a conversation. So there's this video, right? I don't know if this is real or not.
Die! You will die!
So that's okay, yeah, he's pissed. We should probably go.
A cat owner is just chilling, giving their feline friends some good old pets. Nothing out of the ordinary, you'd think. But then, out of the blue, the cat unleashes this weird sound that, I kid you not, sounds like it's uttering the phrase, "Die, you will die." Now, that's not your everyday cat behavior, right? I mean, it's a bit on the creepy side, no denying that. If I found myself in a situation like that, I guess I'd be kind of taken aback. Like, what's going on with the cat? Cats can be weirdly expressive, and their vocal range is like cryptic language we're still deciphering. If, however, you notice any odd behavior like this, maybe it's time for a visit to the vet. You know, just to rule out any otherworldly influence or health issues. Better safe than sorry, right? FYI, I don't think it's possessed, but it comes close, don't you think?
Die! You will die!
So let's delve into this rather intriguing footage that's been making its way through the grapevine. Alongside the ongoing chatter about unidentified flying objects, this footage pops up. In the footage, a night vision video captures the scene in the Middle East, and lo and behold, there's a giant in the frame standing next to a military tank. This humanoid silhouette is not just your average tall person, it's towering over the tank. Now, here's where it gets even more peculiar. The creature, or giant, or whatever we want to call it, doesn't just fade into the shadows or dash off into the night. No, it straight up vanishes into the ground. What in the world could this giant be? Is it a creature of myth and legend, a sentinel from another realm, or perhaps something more down to earth with a touch of military mystique? Some are convinced it's a genuine supernatural encounter, while others suggest it could be a creative play of shadows and perspective. Now, shifting gears to yet another peculiar piece of footage, brace yourself for the unusual. In this video, we can see an individual showcasing some seriously strange hand maneuvers. I mean, we're talking about fingers that can contort and crook in a way that defies the norm. Take a look for yourself. This person has this uncanny ability to turn their entire palm backward. It's not your everyday hand trick, that's for sure. Speculation arises as to whether this unique ability is a result of a genetic mutation, an unusual anatomical condition, or perhaps an acquired skill through dedicated practice and flexibility training. While some may view this as an oddity or an intriguing anomaly, others may appreciate it as a testament to the wondrous variations that can exist within the human form. Now, here's a story that takes a turn into the unexpected. A woman was going about her business when suddenly she looks up to the sky and spots a figure walking on the clouds. It's faint, so you may have to squint to see it. If you still don't see it, perhaps I may not be alone. Now, the intriguing part is the woman's take on it. While we can't gauge her level of religious inclination, she seems to lean toward the belief that the person in the clouds could be none other than Jesus. Quite a thought-provoking perspective, wouldn't you say? So here's the million-dollar question. What's your take on this celestial stroll? Do you think it's just a strange occurrence, or could there be something more divine at play? I'm afraid to ask, but did you see anyone at all? Tell us in the comment section. Next, we have a tale unfolding in the quiet of a night ride through a park in Vietnam. A bike rider and his son enjoying the evening breeze. But hold on, things take a sudden turn when they spot what initially seems like a mere light in the sky. Little did they know it was about to become one of the strangest phenomena to grace their night. The lights appeared to originate from something behind the clouds. People speculated about the source. Could it be some intentional light beaming skyward? Yet, as they scanned the surroundings, no evidence of such activity revealed itself. And here's the twist. As they observed, a smaller object emerged from beneath the mysterious light. This left some folks convinced that this could be the elusive alien mothership lurking just beyond the veil of clouds. But what's your take on this? If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more videos like this for you. Thank you very much. Now, back to today's episode. Our next clip is from a similar encounter that occurred in Cape Town. A group of men were on the top of a building where they noticed this strange green light glowing behind the clouds. The big question lingers. What's the deal with these mysterious lights? Are they just a quirk of nature, or could there be something more clandestine unfolding above our heads, unbeknownst to us? As we ponder the possibilities, it's worth considering whether these lights are part of a natural phenomenon or if there's a hidden layer to this story. What's your take on the matter? Do you think it's just another cosmic spectacle, or could there be more to these strange lights than meets the eye? Talk of an unusual intruder. In this footage, we can see an apartment complex captured, but it's missing a door. Not exactly an ideal security setup. In a matter of seconds, a surprise visitor strolls in, and it's none other than a mountain lion. Yeah, you heard that right. The camera captures the big cat casually exploring the complex, disappearing from view at times. To add a twist, two unsuspecting individuals walk into the complex, blissfully unaware of the wild company they've got. Thankfully, they head into their room before the mountain lion decides to make an appearance and starts lurking near the entrance. Now, while the mountain lion may not be as hefty as their African cousins, they're still wild creatures, and encounters with them can pose risks to humans. In the interest of safety, it might be a good idea for the property owner to address the missing door situation. What are your thoughts on this wild intrusion? Here we have another tale of a creepy dog. This time, we can see a dog playing with a child, running off the little child. But when it gets behind the tree, it straight up vanishes, only to reappear from the darkness a bit further away, not following the exact path it took behind the trees. Some in the community are throwing the "it was dark, so it looked like it vanished" card onto the table. It's a classic optical illusion, right? Darkness playing tricks on your eyes. On the flip side, some are convinced that the dog legit vanished into thin air. What's your take on this mysterious canine? Could there really be something more supernatural at play? A trail camera captured this scary image in the woods in the middle of the night. In the image, we can see a pale, hairless creature. Its arms look emaciated, and it has a pair of eerie, glowing eyes as it stares intently at the camera. It looks almost as if the creature is looking into my soul. Now, what we have here, according to the paranormal community, is a creature known as a rake. The rake, often depicted as a humanoid creature with unsettling features, has become part of paranormal lore. Some swear they exist, sharing stories of encounters that defy explanation. Others argue that the rake is merely a product of imagination, a creature born from the collective fear of the unknown. As the debate rages on, the image captured by the trail camera adds fuel to the speculation. Is this a genuine glimpse into the mysterious world of the rake, or could there be a more mundane explanation for the eerie figure in the woods? There have been talks of giants existing. There have also been talks of dwarfs. And then there are some cultures that believe in little people, not dwarfs, but humanoid miniature people. In this footage, we see this little person crossing a deserted road. This creature looks to be in a hoodie and very skinny. As our petite companion travels down the road, pay attention to the short bars on the other side. This creature is remarkably smaller in comparison. However, there's a significant question looming. Could this be a genuine footage of little people? As much as you might want to buy into the idea that it's real, there's this lingering suspicion that it might be a bad CGI. The whole scene appears a bit too surreal, leaving us in that awkward space between wanting to believe in the extraordinary. Next, we have another weird dog. A man heads out to the woods with his dog for a game of fetch. Everything seemed ordinary until the moment he picks up the toy, ready to toss it to his furry companion. That's when he notices something odd. The dog's face has this peculiar expression, almost human-like. Could it be that the pup just pulled off a bizarre facial expression? There are some who don't think so and are throwing around the idea of a skinwalker. What do you think? This is why I don't mess with dolls. They can be quite unnerving. So someone decided to check a doll's heartbeat, and surprise, surprise, it registered a heartbeat. Now I'm with you on this, it's a bit weird and raises a bunch of questions. How in the world is a doll showing signs of life? It's like a plot straight out of a Chucky movie, right? Dolls coming to life, displaying vital signs. It's the stuff of nightmares. But let's dial it back a bit. Maybe there's a logical explanation, like some tech gadgetry or a glitch in the heartbeat detecting device. Or who knows, maybe Chucky does have cousins out there. What are your thoughts on this bizarre doll situation? Next, we have a puzzling discovery after a snowstorm. It looks like the hand of someone stuck in the ice-cold river. It's natural for anyone who saw this to assume someone was drowning in an attempt to help. As the person behind the camera investigated and gently poked at the glove, things took a rather unexpected turn. It turns out that wasn't a hand at all. No, it looked like a glove that appeared to have deflated once taken out of the water. This left everyone scratching their heads in confusion. Now, isn't that strange? What could have caused this glove to mimic a hand emerging from the icy water only to deflate? Was it paranormal related, or is there just a simple explanation to it? Now back to the classic tale of strange lights in the night sky, this time above a club in Las Vegas back in 2022. The lights are positioned behind the clouds, and the arrangement of the lights indicated that it was coming from a craft. But looking at the shape, this craft was most definitely not human-made. So what could it be? Is it a visitor from another realm, a manifestation of extraterrestrial presence, or perhaps a secret military experiment that defies our earthly expectations? Some are convinced it's a bona fide UFO, while others might entertain the possibility of more down-to-earth explanations. So what's your take on this luminous spectacle? Do you think it was a craft from beyond our earthly borders, or could there be a more down-to-earth explanation for these lights dancing behind the clouds? Share your thoughts. And just a quick reminder before our next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a Bigfoot after you, huh? Next, picture yourself on a serene hike surrounded by nature's beauty when an eerie feeling creeps over you as if someone or something is watching. When you turn around, your eyes lock onto a dark figure standing by a tree, staring right back at you. The owner of the footage did not get a good look at the creature since it was getting dark, but upon closer examination, the shape of the head, its substantial size, and the broadness of its shoulders suggest that what they might have stumbled upon is none other than the elusive Bigfoot. Do you believe it could be a genuine sighting of a Bigfoot, or a trick of the fading light, or perhaps something else entirely? Here we go again, a UFO sighting, but this time with a sighting that's hard to miss. The craft in question fits the classic saucer-shaped mold, zipping through the sky at an astonishing speed. Now, isn't that a scene straight out of a sci-fi movie? The stereotypical saucer craft cruises through the atmosphere, leaving us all in awe and wonder. It's the kind of sighting that sparks conversations and sparks the imagination. Now, let's entertain the possibilities. UFO sightings have fascinated and perplexed observers for decades. Some argue that these sightings could be secret military aircraft, while others embrace the idea that these craft might be of extraterrestrial origin. But the mystery continues because we never know what these crafts are. What do you do when a pup shows up to your house looking exactly like your dog? This is exactly what happened here. The pup just showed up being all friendly and wearing a similar collar and everything. One's extremely friendly while the other looks annoyed. Clearly, one of them is an imposter. Anyway, which one do you think it is? Many think the annoyed one is the imposter. They even suspect it might be a skinwalker there to harm the family. What do you guys think? Some researchers set up a deer carcass wired to electrocute anyone or anything that touched it. They hanged it in the woods and left it here to see what happened. A curious bear came by and saw the free food, unknown to it that there was electricity on the meat. As it attempted to snatch the meat, it got electrocuted. The bear was so taken aback by the sting from the electric shock that it ran off immediately. However, later that evening, the bear returned to take the meat, but still it got electrocuted, but this time it didn't run away. It stayed and started to sniff around. It went to check out the pole that the electric wires were connected to the source of power, a battery. While touching and sniffing around, it managed to switch off the power, making the meat electric-free. It then went back again to check if the meat was still electrified, and when it noticed the change, it pulled down the deer carcass and grabbed his free meal. Such a clever and persistent creature, wouldn't you agree? Now that's a fiery mystery lighting up the skies over Kenya. A UFO resembling a flaming plasma ball is captured in the night sky. The phenomenon looks like something from World War II. As the story circulates, opinions vary. Some speculate it might be a hologram, others dismiss it as a potential fake, and a few suggest it could be part of an aeroplane performance. What's your take on this enigmatic display in the Kenyan skies? Is it a holographic phenomenon, a crafted fabrication, or perhaps something more conventional like an airplane show? Here we have a strange image taken in the middle of the woods. The image reveals a peculiar sight, a structure crafted from wood intricately forming a spiral shape, prompting some to draw connections to a paranormal portal. On one side of the debate, there are those enchanted by the idea of a mystical gateway, a spiral leading to who knows where. On the other side, skeptics argue that this might be a man-made creation, skillfully fashioned to spark intrigue. So where do you stand on this woodland mystery? Do you lean toward the mystical, envisioning a portal to another realm, or do you see the hand of human craftsmanship behind this intriguing structure?
Well, come out so I can see you. Come out. Come on.
Yup, that happened. Someone sent this in stating it was an encounter with a spirit being in the forest. 2 decades ago, we might have believed this with the Lord of the Rings craze going about back then. Good times. Anyway, it's hard to believe that there's actually a spirit in there communicating with the man. I mean, I love the paranormal, but this is as fake as some of the footage can come. What do you guys think?
Well, come out so I can see you.
In this eerie snapshot, a pair of glowing eyes hovers among the trees in the darkness, leaving us to ponder their origin. When it comes to glowing eyes, 2 categories come to mind. The first being the realm of nocturnal creatures like coyotes and raccoons, animals perfectly adapted to the cover of night. The second is a realm tinged with a touch of the paranormal, featuring creatures like rakes, skinwalkers, and dogmen. As the glowing eyes peer through the trail camera lens, the mind begins to speculate. Could these eyes belong to a creature of the night, silently navigating the woods in search of prey, or do they hint at the presence of something more mysterious, a creature from the realms of folklore and urban legend? Now, what do we have here? A dog? This little fella doing something quite peculiar. Instead of the regular dog sitting, it's sitting upright on its butt, and its front legs look surprisingly buff, like it's been hitting the doggy gym or something. Now, that's not your usual canine pose. Some folks are tossing around this idea that it might be a skinwalker. Yeah, a skinwalker, one of those mythical creatures from folklore. But hold on, before we dive into the world of the supernatural, let's consider that dogs can be pretty quirky. Maybe this furry friend is just showing off its unique sitting style. Who knows? Next, we have footage retrieved from a security cam. It was taken in the dead of night with no source of light but the camera's IR light. Yet despite that, it captured something truly disturbing. Have a look. Unless there is proof that the Flash is real and he's embraced the darkness now, I don't think that there is a logical explanation for this footage. In the stillness of the night, a dark figure zooms from an unknown location into the camera frame. Whatever it is, its smoke made the one whose trail camera captured it believe he was dealing with a vampire. Some viewers shared the same belief, while others speculated it could be a shadow of an animal, perhaps a bird or a swooping bat behind the camera. As much as we want to believe that, the ghostly appearance and supernatural speed of its movement leave us questioning any logical explanation given. What do you think, though? In this footage, a brave man stumbles upon a set of enormous tracks leading from the depths of the forest to his very doorstep. He couldn't believe his eyes at the size of these tracks, exceeding that of any human footprints he'd ever seen. Clearly, it was evident that no ordinary human could be responsible for these massive impressions. As the man followed the tracks, he noticed the significant gaps between each print, indicating a creature of considerable size was wandering through the area. This left him baffled, as he ruled out typical animals like apes or gorillas, which wouldn't have left such enormous tracks. So, what could be responsible for these puzzling footprints? The man couldn't help but consider the possibility of the legendary Bigfoot. Could this elusive and enigmatic creature be roaming the wilderness, leaving behind traces of its presence? As we always do, we approach such encounters with a blend of curiosity and skepticism. While the idea of a mythical creature like Bigfoot captivates our imagination, we also keep in mind that there might be other explanations for these unusual tracks. Is it possible that a large and unknown animal species resides deep within the forest, still waiting to be discovered by science? Or could there be a more rational explanation for these prints that we have yet to consider? Tell us what you think. This next Trailcam image was captured during the eerie hours of the night, a time when the unknown often comes alive. Take a look. In the midst of this seemingly desolate setting, an unexpected presence emerges. Is this a cryptid? Could it be Bigfoot or perhaps a pale and ghostly humanoid figure? Well, not exactly. A golden light graces the night sky, offering a unique sight. It takes the form and appearance of an orb, which only leaves many questions. If you're new to this channel, you might probably be wondering what I'm going on about. If you're a veteran here, you know orbs in the night are usually a sign of spiritual and supernatural activity. One question remains, though. Is this one such activity, or is there a more logical explanation for this? Share your thoughts with us. This next clip has nothing to do with trail cams, but all the things to do with the paranormal. Take a look. At the start, the camera zooms in on a really cool bunch of trees that you'd expect from a typical woodland area. But in just a few seconds, things get super weird. Out of nowhere in this forest, a strange figure appears. It's like something from another world, all strange and mysterious, and it's high up on a tree. At first glance, this figure looks kind of like a person, but its features are all blurry and hard to make out. If you saw this in real life, you'd probably get some severe chills. Now, here's the kicker. This is a screen recording of footage from Google Maps, at least the uploader claims it is. This has left people arguing about what's truly going on in the video. Some believe it's a supernatural being, while others believe it's just utterly ridiculous. According to them, there's no way Google Maps or Street could capture things in the forest. Sounds logical, but is anyone with experience with these apps? Is capturing something like this even possible with the app? Please tell us in the comment section. Did you see that? Did you see those captures? Where have you seen a creature that large before? What's more, it's not just any creature, it's clearly a large lizard. I know there are large lizards, but there's definitely no known species like this. What's more, lizards don't jump. Even if they do, I doubt they could reach this high. The uploader of the capture, whose Trailcam captured this, believes it's an undisclosed species of flesh-eating lizards. He also believes they could be related to fish, as they're a bit fish-like. As exciting and disturbing as that sounds, a part of me just feels like this image might not be real. The image looks very good and very authentic, but I can't seem to shake the feeling off. Call it a hunch of some sort. What do you think about it, though? We have seen strange things on this channel, but none compared to what I'm about to show you. Are you ready? Have a look. Yes, you're actually looking at a bear with what looks like a mohawk on its back. We couldn't believe it either and had to quickly run a Google image search, but nothing came up. Google thought it was a cinnamon bear, but cinnamon bears don't have hair like that on their back. Could this be some rare mutation in that particular bear, or is there something funny going on in the woods where this image was captured? It's hard to say or verify since the uploader of the capture didn't state where it was captured, but do tell me what you think. Now let's take a look at something far more bizarre. This footage was uploaded onto Twitter back in 2022. According to the uploader, this blazing scene took place in Ohio. What we've got here is a mesmerizing carpet of fire sprawling across the streets of Ohio. Now, before you start wondering if this is some kind of supernatural event, here is the kicker. Instead of fleeing in terror, the bystanders are drawn like moths to a flame, getting closer to capture footage of this otherworldly spectacle. As you can see, their fascination knows no bounds. It's as if they've stumbled upon a real-life mystery that defies explanation. And speaking of explanations, the local fire department has had their say. They suggested that this astonishing display might have been sparked by an irresponsible smoker casually flicking a lit cigarette butt onto some flammable mulch. Now, while this theory may sound like a most plausible explanation, there's something undeniably mystical about watching a carpet of fire dance and flicker against the darkened night sky. It's a reminder that even in the age of science and reason, the world can still surprise us with its unexplained wonders. So, Ohio's fiery enigma, whether a mere cigarette misadventure or something more, continues to captivate our imagination. Does it captivate yours? If you're a regular subscriber to this page, then you are no stranger to strange phenomena, conspiracy theories, wild speculations, and even footage of cryptids like Bigfoot, the Rake, or skinwalkers. As intriguing as these creatures are, sometimes there are other things more intriguing than them. Sometimes the intriguing phenomenon is nothing but your everyday primate with a human-like expression, like the one you see in the footage. While it appears to be a typical black primate with regular monkey behavior, its face is the most intriguing aspect. We've all heard the saying, 2 heads are better than 1, but what do you make of a monkey that seems to wear a human-like expression? While this is interesting to see and watch, it makes me wonder if the creature is fine or if it's even accepted by its family. I'm no expert in this field, so I won't pretend to be. Can anyone among you explain what's going on with the monkey's face? If you can, please do so because we'd like to know. We'll be reading the comments. This next footage is one that's certainly no 3D animation. Take a good look at it. We know the cartoons make bears look cuddly et al., but this footage shows us just how dangerous they can be. The footage is from Yellowstone Park, and the bear came out of the woods and suddenly went after the pack ranger on duty. Fortunately for the ranger, he had his vehicle parked nearby and his vehicle had a gun in it. A few shots into the sky and the bear was scared off. I wouldn't want to imagine what could have happened if he'd encountered the bear without appropriate equipment or training. I know I've said it before, but I say it again. Be very careful when in bear territory and, if possible, avoid it completely, especially when alone and not trained for such situations. Now we have this popular yet very controversial footage from a couple of years ago. If I were to mention blood-sucking beings, what comes to mind? Vampires, right? But what if I told you there were other creatures known for sucking blood? Yes, that's right, vampires aren't the only ones. All these animals you were seeing had their blood sucked dry. Fortunately, the other blood-sucking creature has a taste for animals and not humans. It's a creature of legend known as a chupacabra, and one such creature has been drinking the blood of the livestock on the farm these clips were captured. And how do we know for sure? The farmers managed to capture it in action, but just before they could make it pay for its sins, it got away. They're convinced it's the legendary chupacabra, and we're leaning toward believing them. But what do you think? This footage was taken by an explorer who had decided to explore an abandoned building. Luckily, he didn't get into the building because something scared him off the property just before he could. Take a look. As he approached the entrance, the sight before him was eerie enough to give anyone pause. The entrance was padlocked, a sign that perhaps some things are better left undisturbed. But curiosity got the better of him, and he raised his camera to capture a glimpse of the mysteries within. What he saw in that dark room, well, it's the stuff of nightmares. There, lurking in the shadows, was a creature with eyes that glowed like burning embers in the night. It's the kind of sight that would make your heart skip a beat. But here's where things take a sinister turn. As soon as this enigmatic creature spotted our intrepid explorer, it lunged forward with an otherworldly menace. Frightened to the core, our explorer makes a hasty retreat, and the footage abruptly ends. Now, the big question that lingers is this: is our explorer okay? Because whatever that creature was, it certainly didn't appear to be in the mood for a friendly chat. But then again, he uploaded the footage, so he should be fine, right? Well, we've certainly stumbled upon something that's a head-scratcher. In the world of Trailcam mysteries, this one's a real enigma. Picture this: a vast open field, and in the middle of it all stands a creature that's, well, peculiar to say the least. This oddity is a sight to behold. It's covered in what seems like tattered rags from head to toe. Its skin appears burnt, giving it an eerie and unsettling appearance. Take a look at those fingers, claw-like and asymmetrical, with one seemingly larger than the other. It's safe to say this is no ordinary sighting. Now, the million-dollar question is, what on earth is this creature? The size alone rules out a mere hoax unless we're dealing with a child in an exceptionally bizarre costume or a CGI creation. Which do you think it is, real or an elaborate hoax to deceive us? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Now let's take a look at this footage. What do you see? It's hard to tell, isn't it? It just looks like a dark, cloudy image, but take your time and observe it critically. A face should be forming now in your mind. The image looks like the lower part of a face. From the top bit toward the lower bit of the face, you see a nose, then some lips, and what look like cheeks and a beard. We wish we could show you the rest of the body, but unfortunately, this is all the Trailcam managed to capture. Perhaps something obstructed the view from the side. So, the million-dollar question: what is that? A human? Perhaps a large and hairy one? A gorilla? Or a cryptid like Bigfoot? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. We'd love to see them. Next, we have this Trailcam footage that shows a spectral being moving in the background. Just pay attention to the video and you'll see it. Have you seen it? It looks translucent and is moving in the background. If you're having trouble seeing it, pay attention to the direction in which the dog stares and barks. Did you see it? Yes, that's what I'm referring to. The footage was taken by a man who was exploring the woods. He realized his dog was barking in a direction. He looked in the same direction, and this is what he saw. He refused to return to the woods or even talk about the encounter. But what do you think about it? Does it look real, or do you think it's merely a product of 3D animation? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Next, we move to southeast Indiana for an alleged capture of the footprints of Bigfoot. Bear in mind that this was captured as far back as 2019, so have a look. The footprints, likely made on a muddy day, appear in the video as significantly larger than man's feet, possibly 2 to 3 times the size. Given its depth in the ground, we can deduce that whatever made it is quite large and very, very heavy. Do you know any creatures that fit the bill? Well, the paranormal community believes it's a Bigfoot, and who can blame them? The footprint was 18 inches long, 6 inches wide, and 4 inches deep, and the distance between the tracks was 70 inches. Hypothetically, this Bigfoot is assumed to be 8 feet tall, weighing approximately 800 to 900 pounds. According to the uploader, 5 people have witnessed these sightings. This gives some credibility to the captures, but tell me, what would you do if you met a behemoth that size? Would you run, scream, or try to befriend it? Let us know. Now let's dive into a fascinating chapter of the internet's cryptid chronicles. Back on September the 3rd, 2013, the digital world was set abuzz by a single enigmatic image shared by a Facebook user. What did this image reveal, you ask? Well, none other than the piercing eye of a mysterious creature. A trailcam carefully positioned to capture the secrets of the forest had seemingly caught the attention of an inquisitive visitor. This creature, whoever or whatever it was, decided to get up close and personal with the camera. As many trail camera enthusiasts know, animals often get curious when they encounter these devices on their turf. What if I told you this was no ordinary encounter? What if I told you the eye that peered into the lens was unlike any that had been seen before? Even after experts compared it to close-up images of various creatures, none seemed to be a perfect match. It was as if this eye belonged to some other creature. The conclusion, as intriguing as it may be, led many to the realm of Bigfoot. Yes, you read that right. Bigfoot, the legendary humanoid cryptid of the wilderness. Why? Because this eye held a curious blend of human-like characteristics while still maintaining an air of mystery that set it apart. Of course, it's worth noting that the world of cryptids is filled with ambiguity and speculation. What one person sees as proof, another might dismiss as a trick of the light or an optical illusion. An expert compared the eye against that of a hog and was very convinced that there was no Bigfoot involved. He strongly believes it's definitely a hog. Given the options, which do you think it is? Stepping away from potential hoaxes, take a look at this footage. Did you see it? A creature quickly runs across the camera frame. The creature's brown fur and impressive size left us in awe. Bears don't run like that, and no chimpanzee or gorilla is capable of moving on its 2 feet like that. That leaves us with just one suspect: Bigfoot. However, there's one peculiar thing. The Bigfoot in this footage appears considerably smaller than any we've featured on this channel. Could we actually be looking at a young or juvenile Bigfoot? My team and I certainly do think so, but what about you? So, what do you see in this CCTV footage? It looks like a human walking on all fours like an animal will, right? A closer look and you'd realize that its movements are far from natural. Because of this fact, all who saw the footage when it was uploaded thought it might be a skinwalker. Despite this assertion, there are some who also thought it might be a rake instead. There's a third sect thought that thinks there's nothing supernatural about the footage and that it's merely a human either playing games or acting weirdly. I'm tempted to lean toward the third assertion, but what do you think? Imagine moving through the woods at night and hearing these shrill, scary sounds. In the middle of nowhere, armed with just a camera and a torchlight, the uploader of the footage stands firm despite the unsettling sights and sounds. It's evident he's very far from home, and it's not exactly clear what he's doing in the woods either. But it looks like his life might just be in danger. Despite eerie sounds emanating from the distance and the inky darkness reminiscent of thick smoke from a burning building, the unknown person remains undeterred. The screams intensify in tempo, yet there's no sign of any creature. What could this sound or scream be owned by, and is it a cry for help or a cue for the one recording the footage to skedaddle? The fact that he uploads this shows he was safe, but what do you think is responsible for the sound? An animal? A human? A skinwalker? Or a rake? Hit us with the best guesses and reasons in the comments section below. This next footage takes me back to the days of watching Bridge of Terabithia and Tinkerbell. Don't judge me, I was young. The footage was captured by an enthusiastic explorer in search of creatures from the fairy realm. For those who don't know, the fairy realm refers to the magical realm where fairies and all other fairy tale creatures reside. After roaming the woods for minutes in the rain, this strong believer of the fairy realm is rewarded with a capture of one of them supposedly going back to its habitat after the rain stops. Although not entirely visible, we can discern that it stands at least 1 or 2 feet tall with long limbs and a slender build. You clearly don't need me to remind you it's active and on the go. Like many whimsical creatures, it's incredibly alert and quick to react to any potential danger, whether from predators, scientists, or explorers like the one recording this footage. Many who saw the footage believe it's the real thing. Personally, I don't know how to feel about it. There's a good chance it's CGI, but I also want to believe that this is the real deal. What do you think about the whole thing? Do you believe in aliens? If you answered no, then be prepared to have that stance challenged. Yes, that's a 9-foot being that was captured at midnight. Around the same time, unidentified objects were seen falling from the sky from a strange flying object that didn't look like any aircraft we have known on the planet. From afar, these unidentified flying objects looked like an array of lights in the sky, just like something you'd expect out of an alien movie. Those who saw it were convinced that they were alien spacecraft. But were they really, though? Well, before I go any further, pause the video and write your thoughts in the comments section. If you're still here, I guess you have written your thoughts. Investigating the footage, we made some profound discoveries. A similar video with the same alien creature was posted at least 1 day before this whole alien stuff was posted online. The post actually went viral, which, and perhaps, that might have motivated the one who used the footage to do so. A closer look at the original poster's hashtag and you see Blender, which is an animating and GI tool. This basically means the whole thing is a hoax, which is a bummer. For our next footage, perhaps I should just allow you to watch it and tell me what you think. So, what do you think about the footage you've seen so far? You do see the trees in the background, don't you? And you do see the structure to the left side of the screen, right? As interesting as those things might be, they can't compare to the hairy creature. You see the hairy creature too, right? What is it? Well, no one can say for sure, but given the fact that the Trailcam capture is from a secluded area without any bears or apes, all who have seen the photo believe it's Bigfoot. Frankly, there's little evidence to prove or disprove it, so we're gonna sit out passing judgment for this one. In this video clip, we see a house painted in a yellowish or cream color set against a less than perfectly mowed lawn. The area is well lit with strategically placed lights. At this quiet time of day, nothing seems amiss. However, our assumptions are quickly proven wrong when a shadow suddenly emerges from behind the camera. We notice this presence thanks to the light strategically placed throughout the area. Shortly after it passes, an alarm goes off, signaling a trespasser. This startles the unknown creature, causing it to pause briefly. However, it resumes its movement once the alarm stops. The shadow reveals the immense size of this unknown creature, complete with a slight hunchback and long muscular arms. Despite its size, it moves silently and could have gone unnoticed if not for the alarm. What do you think this ginormosity of a creature is? My bet's on a Bigfoot, but I'd like to hear your thoughts too. Now, in all our previous bonus footage, we had an animal for you to identify. Today, I thought we'd take it up a notch. Can you identify the creature making that blood-curdling noise? If you can, please head over to the comments section and tell us. The first accurate comment will be featured in our future videos. Trust me when I tell you this is an opportunity you don't want to miss. Start your comment with bonus footage so we easily identify it. All the best. Next, we have a creature standing in a field, and at first glance, it might appear to be a simple stray dog. But hold onto your hats, because the owner of this footage firmly believes that they've captured none other than the infamous chupacabra. For those unfamiliar with the creature, it's a dog-like creature that feeds on the blood of livestock. Upon close examination of the footage, you might notice that despite claims of it being a chupacabra, it looks surprisingly ordinary. Is this a case of mistaken identity, or has the elusive chupacabra truly been caught on camera? Perhaps it's become more adept at blending in than we've given it credit for. What do you think? As you ponder on the unknown species, take a look at this interesting footage. What do you see? If you said giant tracks, you were right, but who could they belong to? Well, if you know anything about cryptids and you have been following this page for a while, then the answer should be pretty much simple. It's Bigfoot. Yeah, you heard that right, a Bigfoot. The person who stumbled upon this massive footprint discovered several others nearby. This was preserved because of the mud at the riverbank. It's said that the authorities tried to get rid of the evidence but couldn't get it all. If that's true, then I wonder what else are they hiding from us. But as you wonder with me, I have a task for you. I intentionally left out the area where this footage was taken from. Can you guess? If you know, drop the name in the comments section, and if you're right, you get a shout out in our next video. If you have a soft spot for wildlife, then brace yourself for this set of clips. As much as I'd love to begin with a clever quip, this footage is just too disturbing and sad for me to come up with one that's appropriate. In the footage, we see deer moving around in circles till they drop to the ground. And no, these deer aren't possessed. Instead, they're suffering from a rare disease called chronic wasting disease. It's a transmissible neurological disease that not only affects deer, but other cervids like elk, moose, and reindeer as well. Fortunately, they can't transmit this disease to humans yet. If you ever see a deer experiencing this, please inform local authorities and stay safe out there. Speaking of strange animals, what do you make of this capture? Looking beyond the faded grass and the vibrant trees adorning the ground which sway in the wind like freshly washed hair in the wind, we see a mysterious creature which appears to be on a journey. I know that intro was a bit too much, but well, you can't deny it was nice. Anyway, coming back to our trail cam. You can't help but wonder what type of creature that is. It doesn't remotely appear to look anything like we know. Its size makes it too large for any creature I could think of. With its black appearance and two robust arms and legs, it could easily be mistaken for a male gorilla confidently navigating its territory. I'm uncertain. It's a bit unclear, just a speculation as usual. What could this creature be really? If it's not a gorilla, what is this black walking creature? A part of me wants to say large bat, but well, I won't let it. Kindly tell me what you think we're seeing in the comments section, as I really want to know. Ghosts. They've been the subject of tales and folklore for centuries, haven't they? The idea of our dearly departed neighbors wandering the earthly realm with unfinished business, it's enough to send a shiver down anyone's spine. Now let's talk about this intriguing security camera footage. In the dead of night, we see a lone figure strolling along, clutching a trusty flashlight. Nothing too unusual there, right? But here's where it gets hair-raising. Right as this person passes by, another figure emerges, shadowy and ethereal in form. It's like something out of a classic ghost story. This second figure is not your typical late-night wanderer. He or she appears hazy, translucent, and within the blink of an eye, it vanishes into thin air. Now, some might argue that this could be a result of some pretty impressive video editing, and in today's digital age, that's a valid point. But personally, I doubt it is. This footage looks like the real deal if you ask me. If it is, was that a ghost, or is it an otherworldly creature trying to materialize in ours? You tell me. How would you explain what you just saw? Doesn't it look like two animals combined into one? Because that's exactly what the one who uploaded the footage thought when he saw it. He actually thought he was seeing some ghost animal that was part coyote, zebra, and wolf. Watching the video, we can see where he's coming from, but we gave that idea a hard pass. There's just no way that's remotely possible. The footage is definitely that of a canine carrying the remains of some other animals. That's at least what we think. But what do you think? What did you think? Hopefully that didn't make you throw away your phone. Not to say that's what happened to me, but I may have just known someone who damaged his phone by watching this footage. But let's take a critical look at the footage. In the footage, we see a head pop out from behind the tree and quickly disappear as it appeared. Just when we thought we had seen the last of it, it reappears and pulls down the trail camera. Imagine setting up your trail camera in the woods and going back sometime later to find the camera roughed up and off the very place you set it up. So what do you make of it? Is it a man with makeup on, or could we be dealing with a paranormal being? A rake, perhaps? Share your thoughts with us. This capture was sent to us by a subscriber on this page. This Trailcam capture is as confusing as they get. We're unable to decipher and tell what we're actually looking at. It looks like a dark cloud of some sort, perhaps a forming apparition from another dimension, or a cloud of insects or something of that sort, as it appears to be moving as well. We just can't tell what it is and refuse to believe it's not real. Can you help? Ever wonder about the hidden history behind things we encounter or even imagine? This footage showcases an unadorned fenced structure with few trees and no paint. At first glance, it appears this house was abandoned and left unfinished, but there's more to it that meets the eye. During the day, it's devoid of any human presence, with only a leafless tree to keep it company, but come nightfall, it hosts mysterious beings. One such is what you see on your screen. As displayed in the clip, a figure all in white emerges from the front part of the seemingly abandoned structure. We're not exactly sure if it knows it's being filmed, but it moves around freely without a care in the world. It looks like a little girl, but that property is abandoned with no one living there. Could it be a ghost? If it's not, what else could it be? And why does it only appear in the dead of night when no one else is around? Could it be the spirit of someone who once lived there? It's hard to say, but all evidence points to the fact that it's a ghost. Is it a real ghost, though? This is where things get dicey. Isn't it a bit odd that a camera was placed conveniently to capture a ghost roaming an abandoned building? It could be a coincidence et al., or perhaps they could have been investigating. Personally, the footage is ticking all the checkboxes of a hoax, but what do you think? A thermal camera set in the woods caught footage of something disturbing in the middle of the night. What the camera captures is nothing short of extraordinary. In fact, have a look. In the footage, we see a colossal figure suddenly coming into view. It's not just standing there, mind you, it's running with gigantic strides. Given its size, its massive arms swing with an almost hypnotic rhythm. Looking at the capture, I'm pretty sure that the creature might be at least 7 to 8 feet tall. The location and hour of this peculiar sighting offer no comfort for those seeking a mundane explanation. The evidence on display simply doesn't align with the characteristics of a human being. The owner of this enigmatic footage believes with unwavering conviction that what we are seeing here could very well be the legendary Bigfoot. And you know what? Given the sheer size, the peculiar gait, and the location, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. Don't you agree? Ah, the wonders of digital age trickery, or perhaps a glimpse into the extraordinary. A strange-looking man with arms so long they practically reach the ground. On the flip side, the digital ape is no stranger to illusions and hoaxes, where editing prowess can create visuals that challenge our understanding of reality. As the video circulates, skepticism and wonder intermingle. Could this be a real-life embodiment of Mr. Fantastic, or is it a product of clever editing and visual manipulation? The elongated arms spark curiosity and perhaps a hint of unease at the thought of a slap that could send you into another dimension. Either way, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there popular trail cams that you've come across that you think we should feature on this channel? Please tell us in the comments section. If you personally have odd footage you've recorded yourself, you can forward it to us at classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do the needful analysis and include it in our next episode. We'll also credit you with it, unless, of course, you want to remain anonymous. We can't wait to receive your clips. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and family. See you in the next one.